Hi, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Aaron Brown. How's everyone doing? Happy Wednesday. I hope y'all are having an amazing week so far. Really quick to kick things off. If you haven't already, please check me out on Right Answers Mostly. I guested on Right Answers Mostly this week to talk about River Phoenix. He is one of my all-time celebrity crushes, and I was obsessed with him as a child. And I'm really close with Tess and Claire, who host that show, and I love Right Answers Mostly. I'm a fan myself. So to be able to guest was just amazing for a multitude of reasons. And I love the episode, and I know you'll love it too. So check me out over there. That's going to be in the show notes. Also, next week, I want to do an AMA episode of the show. And so if you want to be featured, feel free to email the podcast at notaspirationalpod@gmail.com. That email address is going to be in the show notes for you. I just want to hear from you. I want to give advice. I want to kiki. I want to chat. Yes. Also, the Patreon is in the works. Keep an eye out. Getting into some personal updates today, a very important one to kick things off. Someone left a review saying I was too mean. Now, first of all, I need to be self-aware. I am nothing if not self-aware. I knew what I was doing looking at the reviews. I got in the mud. And so I'm starting to stink, okay? I think looking at reviews and comments is stupid, and yet sometimes curiosity gets me. Curiosity kills the cat, and this review killed me. It said I was mean, okay? It said I was a little bit mean. And listen, if people think I'm mean, that's fine. But here's my question. How many people leave those reviews on podcasts hosted by straight men? Riddle me that. Because as a woman, I'm like, am I just supposed to soften my opinions about things? Am I supposed to just be one woman host of the Teddy Bear Picnic where it's all moonbeam ice cream, jelly bean, rainbows, cartwheels, Free to Be You and Me, 1979. Am I supposed to have no opinions? Am I supposed to just be like, I love everything. Why don't we all just get along and support each other? I only have nice things to say. Fuck off. And if that makes me mean, I'm the wrong host for you. But I really, to whoever left this review, who probably isn't here anymore, I just want to ask, maybe the internalized misogyny is calling from inside the house. And it's okay. It happens to all of us sometimes. Maybe we need to look inward and be like, am I mean, or do we just not like when women don't have likable opinions? Are we just supposed to soften our tone of voice, soften our demeanor, soften our delivery, soften our opinions to be more likable and more palatable? Because that, if you ask me, I'm no genius, sounds like the patriarchy at work, and I'm not fucking interested. So anyways, yeah, if you love this podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Now or later, whatever you'd like. But I read that review and I was like, am I mean? Sometimes, yeah. But I always feel like it's justified. Anyways, moving along. Speaking of being mean, I was in a workout class the other day and Pink was playing. And I've talked about Pink on this show before. And I want to lead with this. I want to lead with love and say that I am certain that Pink is a lovely person. Okay, I think she seems really cool. Do I think she's just showing off with being an aerialist on top of everything else? Yes, I do. But listen, I could never. Okay, I could never. I went to one pole dancing class. Two. I went to a pole dancing class at a bachelorette party, and then I went on my own once, and I was just flopping around that pole. I'm a strong person, not like that, Okay, but I digress. Something about Pink's voice and her music does awaken this intrinsic urge to bully her. And I never would. Okay. I never fucking would. I've never commented on a Reddit before. Have I lurked? Yes. I've never commented on a Reddit. I don't leave nasty comments. I'm above all that. Okay. I'm not above reading comments and reviews and Reddit posts, but I am above adding to the conversation. Okay. But something about her voice, the way she sings, I'm gonna start a fight, na 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 na, or the song, I'll be burning rubber and you'll be kissing my ass. I'm just like, Pink girl, like I'm sure you're a lovely person. I fucking can't with you. And then I was like peeling back the layers of like, why is that? Like, why am I so triggered by Pink? And I think, okay, get ready for this. This is how fucked up I am. This is why I have therapy in an hour and a half. This is how good I am at holding grudges. When I was a kid and she wrote that song, I'm a hazard to myself, she talked about like Britney Spears. She was like, she's so pretty, that just ain't me. Yeah, she was tired of being, this is a singing podcast now, tired of being compared to damn Britney Spears. And I just felt like Pink always sort of like represented that, between that and making fun of Jessica Simpson in the song called Stupid Girls. She kind of just always represented that girl that like thought that girls who like wore makeup and like did their hair and asked questions sometimes were like dumb. And like she seemed very dismissive of all of them. And granted, that was the early 2000s. Again, let's talk about the internalized misogyny calling from inside the house. Like, I understand we've all been there. You know, I said that at the beginning of the show, but I just can't move past it. And every time I hear her voice, I get a little annoyed. Like, nothing will throw off my vibe more quickly in a workout class than Pink playing or Paramore, which I know I've talked about before. I'm in the business of misery. Let's take it from the top. Binding like an hour. Let's ticking like a clock. I'm like, I can't do this. I hope some of you are still with me. There's a lot of singing annoyingly on purpose in a very short period of time. And if you're still here, you're a real one. Thank you so much. Moving right along, I think we should bring back calling people asswipes. I used it in reference to myself the other day. I just thought it in my head. I didn't say it out loud because I was alone. But actually, after the aforementioned workout class where I wanted to bully Pink, I was walking to my car and I thought to myself, God, I parked like such an asswipe. And I just think that word like has a really great way of like de-escalating things. Like if you're mad at someone, someone's mad at you, and you pull out the word asswipe, I think it kind of just reminds us that like everything is so stupid. And at the end of the day, we're just dumb, like meat-covered skeletons who are doing our best to like cosplay as grown-ups, but we're still all children on the playground at the end of the day. Out of my way, asswipe. Like, that is so funny. That is so funny. Why does my brain work this way? Butter Mom summer is upon us. Now, if you don't know, Butter Mom is like the latest TikTok aesthetic, taking the app by storm. And it's very, very heartwarming. I keep getting targeted by Butter Mom TikToks, and if you don't know what a butter mom is, it's this aesthetic that's like, it's like making breakfast to country music. It's like a warm, glowing kitchen lamp. It's an oversized white linen button down, a messy braid. Like, think Natasha Richardson in The Parent Trap, but like when she's visiting the vineyard. Like, think Meryl Streep in River Wild. Think Chessie from The Parent Trap. Think vintage plates mounted on the wall, a straw hat in a garden. And for me, like, I've been facing my existential dread around motherhood as I get older and like start to talk about things like fertility. And then I think about like, if I were to be a mom with my mom not being here and me having this like fucked up relationship to like time and mortality and all these things, like when I'm targeted with these butter mom TikToks, my heart gets so full. And honestly, within the last, like, I'm not exaggerating when I say week, I've finally accepted we can just cut the shit. We can admit that I would like to be a mom someday. You heard it here first. I would like to be a mom someday. For years, I've been on the fence being like, I don't know, like either way, like I'll have a rock and roll life and it doesn't really fucking matter to me. It does matter to me. It does matter to me. And again, thank God I'm in therapy where I can safely discuss all this, peel back the layers, unpack it, because obviously I have shit with my own mom that I don't want to project onto my child, and I inevitably will, but I will do my best to not do that and or do that in the least damaging way possible. But being targeted with these butter mom TikToks, I just think, how cool must it be as a parent to get to like curate memories for your child? Like, I have the fondest memories of being a kid in the 90s and like hearing my mom tinkering around in the kitchen with the TV on, like, you know, unloading the dishwasher, making breakfast, whatever, then going down and watching Recess on one Saturday morning. And then like before my parents got divorced, my dad, I just had to throw that in. My dad would like get donuts from like the nice bakery of town over and like bring us chocolate long johns for breakfast. Like, I have so many magical memories. I have a whole playlist on my Spotify called 90s Cool Mom Bops that's inspired by the songs that would be playing in my mom's car when I would be on my way to dance class on the weekends. Like, I didn't have a perfect childhood, but the memories that are good are like really fucking good. So the thought of like being full butter mom mode and getting to do that for a tiny human is like the most rock and roll thing ever. Ever. So I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that, but I do find it to be incredibly moving. Also, any of you who are moms out there, like, please don't ruin the fantasy for me. Like, I don't need anyone coming into my DMs being like, okay, well, it's not all butter mom fantasy. I'm really not in the fucking mood. Okay. It's already taken me almost 35 years of my life to even admit that I would like to be a mom. So please do not ruin the fantasy for me. I'm not in the fucking mood. Just let me believe that I will be a mom who knows how to make my hair look cute in a claw clip, which I have not figured out yet, in an oversized button down, who's miraculously like lost baby weight. Sorry to go there, but it's true. It's my fantasy. I'll do what I want. You know, making fucking Mickey Mouse waffles for my kid and living my best life. Let me live in that fantasy. Now, that said, we're going to take a really quick break here. And when we get back, we're going to dive into some pop culture stuff. So stay tuned. And we're back. Okay, so speaking of motherhood, we're going to start with some good news, and that is that Natalie Portman, at the age of 44, is expecting her third child. And I just think that is so inspiring because, again, as I think more about like being a mom and fertility stuff, it's like some of the shit out there, the propaganda is really fucking scary. And yes, I know there is like a biological clock that ticks, but like the term geriatric pregnancy, I think is like unnecessarily aggro. And also it's like everyone is so different that like, yes, there's science, there's statistics, there's XYZ, but like more stories please about women in their 40s having kids. Like fucking hell yeah. Also, I just love Natalie Portman. Now we're going to pivot aggressively to bad news. West and Amanda. Okay, first of all, I just need to be honest with you. I need to be vulnerable here and say I have West and Amanda fatigue. Like, I know that early on I was kind of boots on the ground. I was like, I'm going to get into all this and I'm going to give you a timeline. I could never, I know I've said this before, I will say it again. I could never be a Bravo account. I am the Scarlett Johansson Marriage Story meme right now, just as like a normie, like absorbing their foolishness and bullshit. I cannot fucking do it. I'm exhausted. Literally within the hour before I went to record, I saw that allegedly what was on Dumois? Hold on. I have to pull this up because I want to make sure I get this right. So like within the hour before recording, Dumois posted something that said Valentine's Day was just for show as West opted for a TBD love interest on the holiday. A source tells Dumois that they saw West making out with a girl on Valentine's Day at Armada. It definitely was not Amanda or Sierra. Another source echoes this sighting, stating at that time saw West from Summer House out at Armada on Saturday, Valentine's Day, with a group of girls and was making out with a girl in a polka dot outfit for a while / they left together. A non-please. And then another person is saying like a source disclosed that a friend of a friend also hooked up with West in the last couple of weeks, making hooking up look like a full-time job. West resumed his shady shenanigans with yet another woman in March. The insider told Dumois that he got into a public fight with a brunette at 82 Stanton on the Lower East Side, and she ran after him. She was just in his Buffalo Wild Wings ad a week ago. LOL, we live in a simulation. On top of that, Sierra and one of his situations followed each other. She liked one of her posts and then unfollowed, presumably to exchange information and timelines, most likely. The source surmised that Wilson was juggling upward of 4 different women, including Batula and Miller. Miller and Wilson were seen at PJ Clark's together on March 6th. So, like, it's just, then he was hooking up with another girl on St. Patrick's Day. It's just like on and on and on, like, don't. And I'm so fucking exhausted. Now, here's my fear, and I can't remember if I've said this. I'm so sorry. I've talked about this on like 17 different group chats, multiple podcasts. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. My fear with all of this is Wes is going to come to this reunion, and he's going to be like, but I'm a sex addict. I need to go to rehab and get help. And I'm sorry if any of my listeners are sex addicts and they don't feel seen right now. But I do fear that, like, while Amanda claims that her, like, mental health is so bad, that Wes is going to be the boy who cried sex addict. And that does make me incredibly nervous. So I have some fatigue there. I'm so exhausted by how angry they make me. Like, regardless of what anyone says, what they say, what their people say, they do not care. Okay? They do not care. They were at a baseball game last Friday. Okay? Go to a Yankees game together. I know everyone knows about this, but I just need to say right here, right now, it was arguably one of the most cringe things I've seen in my entire life. It felt incredibly performative, incredibly dark. We had footage of like West getting really into the game, being like, yeah, like just like such like straight white man about it. And Amanda had her feet up on the seat in front of her, and she like was like pulling on his pants pocket, like sitting down while he was standing up, and he was kind of turning around being like, what, it's not a big deal. Like he was making such a scene out of how into the game he was, and then kind of shrugged it off when she seemed like she was getting annoyed with him, because of course Amanda's already nagging West because that's like what she does best. And then she's just like lazily looking down at her phone, and she's just drowning in clothes as per usual. And then it looked like Amanda said two things, according to lip readers on the internet. One thing she said was, act like you like me. And then he kissed her, which made my stomach fucking drop. Like, truly, I saw that footage and it was like, I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh, I seriously was like, it just made me sick. And then there was another clip where it looked like Amanda said, I just feel like at this point, fuck it. So she does not care. Okay. Like, in case anyone was curious, she does not care. And for someone who like is like, oh my God, my mental health, no. She's fine. Okay, she's fine. She's fine. And so Kyle, my imitation of her, Kyle, stopped defending Amanda and being like, oh my God, her mental health is so bad. She's fine. Now let's get into Kyle. Kyle was seen kissing Meghan King Edmonds on the street, on his tippy toes, hands on her shoulders. You have to be this tall to ride, Kyle. Are you this tall to kiss Meghan King Edmonds? Incredibly random pairing. The most random pairing that ever paired. Okay? I don't understand it. I also just wonder if people on Bravo realize that, like, they don't have to date other Bravo people. Like, they could, I don't know, go forth into the world, meet other people. I really don't understand the incest of it all. But let's get to the highlight of the Bravo news of the week, and that's that Sierra's article in Glamour came out. Yes, it came out last Friday, April 17th, and it was written by Hunter Harris. The whole article was just chic as hell. The glam and the styling was unreal. I truly have looked at those photos 100 times, and I cannot pick a favorite one. They were all incredible. I loved that Hunter Harris was the writer. I mean, she's an incredible writer, and she could connect with Sierra as a Black woman, and they could have like honest conversations about what this whole experience has been like for Sierra. And I honestly think it was the best move that Sierra could have made. I loved that it was on her own terms. I loved that it was in print. I love that it involved this really beautiful spread. The photos, like, she looked so ethereal and angelic, but incredibly empowered at the same time. I love that Hunter Harris is so accomplished in the space and that she did Sierra justice. And I also lived for the shade of Hunter Harris writing in regards to Amanda, saying that she wanted to return to normalcy. Hunter wrote, normalcy is apparently hanging out in a New York City pub in sunglasses with a sweater tied around her head like a bonnet. That is true. Truer words never spoken. And then there was this other quote that I wanted to pull that Sierra said that I really appreciated. And I really hope it comes across West's desk because he needs to hear this. Sierra said, I came into the house having boundaries. Don't call me after 9. People just thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever, but I grew up in a household where we weren't allowed to talk on the phone after 9. People love to say that they're scared of me or that I'm scary. What have I done that's been scary? Because a lot of the time I say nothing and I remove myself from a situation. Even if I do yell, like Kyle's yelling, Carl's yelling, everyone else is also yelling. So why am I so much more scary than any of the guys yelling? How is it that I'm already getting labeled as scary and intimidating? And friend of the pod, Raven, who recently guested on the podcast, Raven James, who hosts Bitch is Better, posted to her stories being like, right, so like Amanda is like the fragile one with the mental health problems, but Sierra is intimidating and scary. Like, got it. Like, it's so obviously so racially charged to refer to a Black woman as intimidating or scary. And it really, really bothers me. And I'm happy that Sierra got to talk about that in the article. And I really hope that the rest of her castmates read that and reflect on it and consider how they have or have not shown up for her in the house in the past and how they will show up for her moving forward. But I thought it was a really great piece and I'm really happy for her. And I'm also thrilled that Nick Viall and Alex Cooper did not get the first interview with her because that would have been so fucked up. I also really appreciated that Sierra had the opportunity to be like, fuck no, I'm not going on The Bachelorette. I'm way too private for that. And I'm like, absolutely, absolutely. Then Monday, April 20th, yesterday, because I'm recording this on Tuesday, West makes a statement on his podcast, Show Me Something, which he co-hosts with MAGA darling Sophie Cunningham. She asked how he's doing. And he's like, well, I've been better. A lot has happened in a very, very short amount of time, obviously. And, just trying to take it a day at a time and stay off my phone. But the internet is a very scary place to be. And then he noted that Amanda has taken, quote, a big brunt of all of this and said he wishes, quote, if people had shit to talk, they could deliver it to me. Again, like, where were you when Sierra had people coming for her on the internet. Like, where the fuck were you? But yeah. Why don't you defend Amanda? Have people talk shit to you about her so that you can defend Amanda. But you never, ever defended Sierra. You fully just like fed her to the wolves and talked shit about her in the New York Times. Okay, moving on. He goes, for example, Amanda's number got leaked. I don't know how that happened. And someone messaged her and called her a home-wrecking whore, which I found to be obviously inappropriate. Can't talk like that to people. But it's also not true. He also insisted he wanted to be very clear about the lack of overlap between other relationships and theirs. And he goes, I know there's 1,000 different theories on the internet right now, but that is one thing that for sure did not happen. Everyone was single, like I said earlier. So then when we realized things are maybe a little bit serious in February, and that's when this all started, there's not a whole lot more to it than that. He was also asked if he sent messages to any of his castmates, and he said, I've sent some texts. I haven't gotten responses from everybody yet, which is to be expected, and I get it. But that's the hardest part, I think, of this whole situation is, my actions have hurt people that I care about. But the reunion's coming up, and I can give those apologies face-to-face and also clear up all of the crazy shit that's been on the internet. And then KJ posted, love KJ, and he's like, weird, I haven't gotten any text messages. So I think West is full of shit. I think we already knew this, but I think him and Amanda are both trying to save face as best as they can. And then they just keep like stepping in shit over and over and over again. And I'm like, silence is golden. I'm like, there's no way you're going to spin this. You're honestly just pissing me off more. You're exhausting me. Like, please stop this. Stop this. Okay, moving on. Because I really have nothing else to say about it, you guys. Like, I have such intense West and Amanda fatigue. I have nothing else to say. Like, every time they do something, I get more mad. I get more annoyed. I just think they're ding-dongs, and I think they're monsters, and I've had enough. Moving on to some exciting, also kind of scary, but exciting pop culture news. Dylan Sprouse held an intruder at gunpoint and restrained him when this intruder broke into his and Barbara Palvin's house until the police arrived. Listen, it's scary to have someone intrude into your house. It's scary to have to restrain an intruder. Also, I had no idea Dylan Sprouse had a gun. Okay. But like, damn, if you told me one of the kids from Big Daddy would be like, hold on, and like being able to restrain an intruder with a gun to defend his household and his wife, I like probably wouldn't have guessed that. Like, okay, go off, Zach or Cody. I'm not sure which. Huge slay, in my opinion. I'm afraid of guns. I don't love them. But like, listen, I've badass on Dylan Sprouse's part, in my opinion. Maybe that's controversial to say. I would just hope that like, if anyone broke into my house, that like Jake could like just fully restrain them until the police arrived. And I want to know, like, what is Dylan Sprouse doing for training? Like, is he doing, some form of martial arts? Like, is it just strength training? Like, how did he have the moves to restrain this intruder? And act so fast. I was like, huge slay on Dylan Sprouse's part. And then he was seen at the Devil Wears Prada 2 premiere with his wife, Barbara. And she was like, we're dealing with the trauma with jokes and fun and all that. And Dylan's like, I thought it was funny. This is really to my detriment, but I'm really not a too soon guy in general. How random. How random. Now, I really do think like intruders, like this is going to sound so obvious and stupid. People need to stop breaking into people's houses. I know it's like, thank you, Captain Obvious, but like people need to stop breaking into people's houses. Like we had someone shoot into Rihanna's house relatively recently in Beverly Hills. And we have someone trying to break into Dylan's house. Mind your damn business and stay off celebrities' property. I don't understand why it's so hard. Like intruders really scare me. Like home invasions. I truly can't watch The Sixth Sense. And it's not even because of the dead people and the ghosts. It's because of the first scene when, what's his name, Donnie Wahlberg, breaks in and he's like standing in the bathroom in his underwear. Like that is truly the scariest shit I could imagine. So good on you, Dylan Sprouse, for defending your wife and your home. Vanderpump Villa is back again. And unfortunately, I'm deeply invested. I have such a soft spot for that show because it was one of the only things that we could get to work on our iPad when we were on our honeymoon in Italy a couple years ago. We binge watched season 1. And like, it's not good, but it's also so good. You know what I mean? And I just like, I can't get enough of it. I couldn't tell you a fucking single thing that's happened. I'm like, okay, like Hagen got promoted to butler. That's cool. A couple people quit. The first butler quit. Another guy quit. Lots of people are making out with this guy, Nick, who kind of looks like Heath Ledger, very hot, dumb as a box of rocks, said he was a bartender, doesn't know how to bartend. Stassi is like a big sister to all of them. Hannah and Marciano are like still on and off again. Hannah maybe hooked up with Sam, this other guy from the show, or she did hook up with Sam, then she hooked up with Marciano 2 weeks ago. Marciano's like mad. And okay, so I'm saying I can't tell you anything that's happening, and now I'm recapping the whole season. Marciano's like has the audacity to be mad that Hannah hooked up with this guy Sam on the show. And he's like, that's like not a thing that you do to your friend. He's so like melty. He's so melty. Like, you know those plastic masks that are just like a face, but they're clear? They're really weird looking. That's just what Marciano's face looks like. Like it looks like a plastic mask, a very well moisturized, like glossy plastic mask. And then his like lip filler. Like I just can't with that man, that melty man. He has the audacity to be mad at Hannah for hooking up with Sam. When I'm like, bro, you fucked at least one of the Mormon wives, probably two. And you have the audacity to get mad at Hannah for like hooking up with Sam when you have caused so much mess on multiple reality TV shows and you're her ex-boyfriend. Like, shut the fuck up, Marciano. I really cannot. I've had enough of you, you beast. But yeah, like, it's not a good show, but I feel, talk about fatigue. I feel like overwhelmed in general. Like, I have like 90 texts that I haven't responded to at this very moment. I'm not caught up on like 90% of TV shows. I just like don't have the brain space to really do anything right now. And so that said, a show like Vanderpump Villa that I can like have on in the background while I do my day job, I can take naps to it and I have no desire to go back and rewatch anything. Like that's what my body craves right now. And anytime someone's like, oh my God, that show's so good, you need to get caught up, or like, oh my God, that movie's so good, you have to see it. I'm like, totally. And I probably won't. Because I feel so burned out and overwhelmed right now that even to go back and watch a show feels unfun. It feels like, oh, like how am I going to do this? It feels like another thing on my to-do list. Another thing that I have to do to be productive, and I just don't have the bandwidth to be productive because I'm burned out because of this stupid tiny computer that's constantly in my hand. You know what I mean? All this to say, if you need a little brain vacation, check out Vanderpump Villa season 3. The Practical Magic 2 trailer dropped, and I have concerns. Now listen, was I excited about it? Yes. Am I excited about it? Yes. I will be there in September. Obviously, I'm going to see it in a movie theater. I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm going to get a popcorn and a movie theater wine or a giant Diet Coke, maybe both. I'm excited to get the crew back together again. Also, though, like I think we're leaning so much on nostalgia right now. And like I just need to mentally prepare myself for the fact that like nothing will be as good as the original. And like everyone is older now. And, you know, the older I get, the more the song Landslide by Fleetwood Mac really fucks me up. Like, obviously, everyone's allowed to age and stuff. Like, I'm going to be 35 in July, but I think it's just going to depress me that, like, we're all so old now. Is that dark to say? That's fucked up. I have to unpack that. Again, good thing I have therapy in like an hour and 15 minutes. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like, sometimes nostalgia just makes me deeply sad. It's like when I visit ISU and it makes me deeply sad. It's like, yeah, I'm like here on this campus, but like I'm not in college anymore. You know what I mean? And that's my concern going to Practical Magic 2. Now, that said, similar but different, Amazon just announced that they are doing a live action remake of Ferngully. And it's so funny because literally on Right Answers Mostly this last week when I talked about River Phoenix, I talked about how River Phoenix was a huge advocate for like saving the rainforests and how I thought it was so beautiful how in the 90s there was this huge marketing push towards like save the rainforests. And it was like a social cause that a lot of people cared about. And we were like, where did that messaging go? So I'm super excited because, you know, we're still dealing with a lot of habitat loss and rainforests like getting destroyed for, you know, oil and mankind and all the things that we're doing with those resources. So I'm excited to see that Ferngully is getting a live action remake because I think we need to reignite that spirit to save the rainforest. And I also just think it's one of my favorite movies and I'm excited to see what they do with it now. Now, that being said, my hopes for it are practical effects. Okay, I'm talking like Henson style, like Labyrinth-esque practical effects. I want physically built sets. I don't want it to be too reliant on green screens, okay? And obviously they can't use any sort of AI in the making of this film because, hello, we're trying to save the environment, not destroy it by using AI. But I'm really curious to see what they do. And they have a director attached, Marielle Heller, who did A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood and The Diary of a Teenage Girl. I remember The Diary of a Teenage Girl being a lot darker than I expected it to be. So I'm curious what her perspective and her style of storytelling is going to be with Ferngully, but I'm really, really excited. I'm so interested to see who the cast is. I had a coworker be like, I'm always going to root for unknown actors. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm an unknown actor. Of course, I'm always going to root for unknown actors. But also it's like for shit to get funded, everything needs to be attached to some big name. So I'm like, if they were to go the celebrity route, here's like some fan cast ideas in my head, just off the top of my head. Milo Manheim would be a great Zach because he has that like goofy boyish vibe. I think he'd be really good. And then Halle Bailey. I mean, I just saw her in Yumi and Tuscany and I want her to be in everything. I think she would be a great Krista. And like to be fair, she did just play Ariel in The Little Mermaid, so maybe she doesn't want to go down like the mythical creature route, but I do just think she would be a great Krista. Also, I think Connor's Story as Pips, the redheaded fairy that Christian Slater originally voiced, would be really good. And then I had a friend say that Bill Skarsgård would be a great Hexus. I don't know who would play Krista's mentor, Maggie. I'm still noodling on that. And Batty, I mean, it's like Batty was Robin Williams. Like, those are some big shoes to fill. So I'm really interested to see who they pick for that. I could see Keegan-Michael Key, but I don't fully know. And I do want to say Awkwafina. I'm not just trying to copy paste like only people from The Little Mermaid between Awkwafina and Halle Bailey, but like I just know that someone is going to pitch Awkwafina for this movie. And I'm like, Awkwafina, I need you to stay the fuck away from Ferngully. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But we saw what you did to Scuttle and what Disney allowed you to do to Scuttle in The Little Mermaid. We cannot have you touching Ferngully. I'm actually so sorry you're not allowed to be a part of this movie. I'm really hoping that I can be like fairy number 3. Like, I'm going to tell my reps, like, what do we have to do to get me in the mix as just like a fairy in the background going, a human? A human? Oh my God, a human? What's a CD? It's my stereo. I fucking love Ferngully. I'm also, oh my God, there was a part in Ferngully that I really think was like a sexual awakening for me as a child. There's this Sheena Easton song that plays called A Dream Worth Keeping. If you know, you know. And it's when Zach and Krista are like running through this like cave filled with like water, and it's like stars on the ceiling that reflect in the water, and like Krista like gives him her magic and they like run across the water together, and it's like, even though the fun. So much singing in this podcast episode. I'm sorry. If you've turned it off already, that's okay. They can't all be hits, okay, you guys? But I need them to recreate that scene with the technology we have today, because it's truly so romantic. Like, I remember as a little kid being like, oh my God, like imagine like swimming through a cave with a cute boy, stars on the ceiling, stars reflected in the water, Sheena Easton underscores, and you're like splashing each other and like dunking each other. I just remember as a kid being like, this is so beautiful. And then they like float up together because Krista's, you know, a fairy, she's magical. It was just like, that was peak 90s romance at its finest. I also want to say they cannot touch that soundtrack. They cannot touch it. I need all the songs to remain exactly the same. We need Raffi. We need Johnny Clegg. We need Tone Lock. We need someone who can sing as well as Robin Williams do the baddie rap. Again, big shoes to fill there. We need Sheena Easton. And I think I said this recently, but I am going to say it again. If you want to heal your inner child, take your car to a car wash, the kind that you drive through, and play the song Rating Like Magic from Ferngully. It is on Spotify right now. It will make you feel like you're 7 years old again. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous experience that we all deserve to have. Let's get into Hannah's Hot Girl Corner. Okay, I have a few this week. First of all, getting good deals on cute clothes. I went to Marshall's last weekend because I, as I've said on this podcast, have been feeling so just over my wardrobe. It's just uninspired, and I do not have money to burn on a bajillion new things, but I want a little like spring summer wardrobe refresh. I went to Marshall's. I spent a total of $101. I got like 3 tops, pajamas, pants. Like, I was so excited. So I just think like getting good deals on cute clothes is very hot girl coded, and I might even fuck around this weekend and go to a Nordstrom Rack. Okay. Next, short, clean nails. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that's what I have right now. Because in this economy, getting your nails done is expensive. And I find that this time of year, I always want to have really fun nail designs. And my nails have been breaking off like no one's business. And also, it's expensive. So I just want to say, Sarah Jessica Parker said it was okay. Carrie Bradshaw said it was okay. So if you're at a place this summer where you're like, oh my God, I want to feel like a hot girl, but I can't afford to get my nails done, short, clean nails are always hot girl coded. Okay. Just ask Carrie Bradshaw. Just ask Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. Coffee walks on Sunday mornings, very hot girl coded. It's just so main character to get up and go for a walk, put on music, or meet up with a friend, or go with your significant other to get a coffee and then walk home. Listening to girly pop country music in the spring and summer, I'm talking like the Chicks, Maren Morris, Shania Twain, Martina McBride. That's in that butter mom aesthetic sort of vein. But I've just been feeling really great, like listening to all the country music girlies with the windows rolled down lately and a light breeze. Ugh. Just makes me feel hot, makes me feel feminine. I love it. And then finally, a more practical hot girl tip is if you're looking for a new lip gloss, the Patrick Ta Major Volume Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Need Her is my favorite. It's a rich, soft blush. I'm wearing it right now. I wore it on my wedding day. It's high shine. It's so pretty on its own, or it's like nice and buildable with like layered over lipstick or with different lip liners. I really like it with like a darker lip liner, whether it's like a brownish or a grayish shade. I'm going to link some of my favorite lip liners as well with the lip gloss in the show notes. It's really versatile, very hot, great for spring. Again, linked in the show notes if you want to check it out. Okay, now we're going to wrap up with Grow Up. So this week's Grow Up is when celebrities don't like talking about the movies that gave them their start. Honestly, grow up. I'm looking at you, Christian Bale, when it comes to the movie Newsies. I'm looking at you, Anne Hathaway, when it comes to The Princess Diaries. I was talking with Tess and Claire from Right Answers Mostly about this. To me, it is really lame when celebrities are like, I don't want to talk about that. It's like, why? Why? Jerry O'Connell doesn't like talking about Stand By Me. Why? Those movies are impactful. People love them and want to bring them up to you for a reason, and it's because they changed lives. It's because people love them. It's because people felt a deep kinship to those stories and those characters. So for you as a celebrity to be like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Grow up. Don't take yourself so seriously. Like, yes, I get taking your work seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously. Who the fuck cares? Just have a cheeky little giggle. Be nostalgic. Have fun. Like, get over yourself. That felt really nice. I know it's a shorter one this week, y'all, but thank you so, so much for listening. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate y'all. If you're new around here, thank you for your kind messages. Thank you for your reviews. It literally means the world to me. If you don't follow me already, follow me at Hannah Aaron Brown across socials. That's HANNAHAARON Again, if you love this podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Share it on Instagram. Share it with a friend. Check out full episodes on YouTube if you'd like. And I love y'all, and thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.